Hello, I'm Gina Cheatham.
And I'm Ivy Hartman.
And welcome to the Daily Mix. Tonight's show is dedicated to the memory of Miss Ida Goodwin-Woolfolk, the quintessential mistress of ceremonies, philanthropist, community leader, and educator. This past weekend, dignitaries from far and wide came to pay their respects, including the mayor and President Obama himself.
Amazing. She was one of those women who you thought would live forever because she just was timeless and she was present at everything.
Everything. If you did not know her, you felt her hand touch upon all the wonderful things that were going on here in St. Louis. She is truly going to be missed.
She will. I wonder what she'd have to say about voting in the St.
Oh,
Louis
she would be
County
upset because everything has to be done in excellence and in order.
You know what? I was running a little late, Gina, because I did get to stop and vote, and I did get my hands on a ballot, and I was able to vote. But some of those voters out there in St. Louis County weren't able to do that.
Exactly. However, you have until 9 o'clock p.m. to get to the ballots tonight so that you can vote, and make sure that you do, because that's how your voice is heard.
Absolutely. Now, Ida affected people's lives in many, many ways. And people have that impact, but also pets can also have a good impact on our lives.
Absolutely.
I know you're
and
a pet
nothing like
owner.
snuggling up to your soft, furry friend when you are going through trials and tribulations.
And that's exactly why I love this first story, Gina.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, so thanks to Nestle Purina, a lot of kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital will have something to smile about. The company recently donated $450,000 to help design, construct, and open a family pet center, which is an area where children staying at the hospital can visit with their pets from home. Now,
So sweet.
it's a perfect idea. The Child Life Services team at Children's Hospital first introduced the idea, and some of the money from Purina is being used for the construction of the 300 square foot space, and the rest is going to be used to support the people working in the pet center once it opens.
And the single room will include a dog bone table and their litter boxes for cats, and a door to the space large enough for a wheelchair and a hospital bed. Only children with a hospital stay of 5 days or longer will be able to use the center, and families will have to make an appointment to stay with their pet for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. There must also be approval from their doctor.
Of course, yeah, that makes
Exactly.
sense.
The pet center is the third of its kind in the United States and the fourth in the world, and will open at the end of April. How nice is that?
I love it because it's another example of how St. Louis is being cutting edge and really executing on some really wonderful
We
ideas.
do some awesome things here in St. Louis.
So
don't
on
sleep.
that note, I think it's time to get started with
On
today's Daily Mix.
Check it out.
Okay, Gina, at some point in your life, hopefully no time soon, I'm not wishing this on you. You're
Is she burning bread on me? Okay.
I don't even know what that means. Oh my gosh. But what I'm trying to tell you is you or one of our viewers might be caught in some type of emergency situation where you need to
Absolutely.
call 911 from your cell phone. Well, they call them smartphones, but if you actually try to dial 911 from your smartphone, the chances are that Uber could find you faster than first responders.
And that's according to a recent warning from the commissioner of the FCC, who says 911 services have not kept up with smartphone technology. But there is good news.
Oh, good.
A St. Louis startup company, Siren GPS, is working on an app that would allow smartphone users to dial 911 and send specific location information to the operator that the current 911 system doesn't get. Beginning this month, West County Fire and EMS will be the first in the country to test Siren GPS.
Yeah, so during this first month, they're only going to be using the community communication features to send out information for emergencies like weather. However, in the future, they'll be phasing in using the app to actually allow you to use the 911 dialing feature.
All right, well then maybe we'll have to remake the song from the 80s, 90s, Flavor Flav. 911 is a joke in no town.
Big old clocks. We got it.
And speaking of cell phone apps, what if the key to putting an end to postpartum depression and anxiety could be right at your fingertips?
I would think that would be very convenient.
Absolutely, you heard it right here. Thanks to a recent partnership between Apple, the National Institute of Mental Health, Postpartum Progress, and UNC Chapel Hill, that might be possible. Moms will soon be able to get help for their symptoms by way of the new iPhone app, PPD App.
Okay, so this research project is aimed at understanding how to prevent new moms from developing any kind of pregnancy-related anxiety or depression. So what'll happen is current postpartum patients will download the free app and answer a list of questions designed to evaluate their symptoms. And then based on those answers, it'll provide them with personalized diagnosis information along with treatment suggestions.
How cool is that? I mean, I've never had a child, but I do have friends who have had babies, and postpartum is real, and it doesn't mean that you're crazy or anything like that. People always shy away from, dealing with mental health issues, but it's something we go through.
It is indeed. And sometimes a woman in postpartum may not even know that they're going through it. So sometimes it's relying on somebody else to say, oh my gosh, if you thought about that this might be what it is, you need to get some help, and it's totally normal.
Absolutely. And do you need guidance on how to get funding for churches and businesses? I bet you do. So you don't want to miss the upcoming hiring event, Empowerment Lecture hosted by Malcolm Briggs and myself.
Of course.
Presented by Ferguson 1000 and Eagle Bank Entrepreneurs. Get the guidance you need to become successful in your endeavors. Join us at Harris Stowe State University on Friday, April 15th at 6 p.m. Slots are limited, and you must RSVP in advance.
Way to go.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But I'm excited to be a part of it because I myself am an entrepreneur, and everybody needs to know about startup funds and so forth and all those good things that you need.
It can be very overwhelming to navigate, so I'm glad that you guys are partnering and getting that good information out.
Well, I'm glad to be able to share the information.
Okay, so that's what we're about. We're about sharing information with you. So some more positive news for our city's future. Construction is now underway on the $10 million Shaw neighborhood apartment project along Interstate 44. Crews with Urban Improvement Company are working on phase 1 of the 2-phase development, which will feature 64 1- and 2-bedroom apartments and 8 townhomes. Financing from the project came from Midwest Regional Bank. Thank you, Midwest.
And more good news. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, otherwise known as NGA, recently announced they are favoring staying in St. Louis City. The 100-acre site in North St. Louis would house the agency's new $1.7 billion Western headquarters. Agency officials say the St. Louis location would provide the most technological, academic, and professional environment for the agency to develop.
Now, the NGA provides, in case you didn't know, they provide crucial map-based intelligence to the military, policymakers, first responders, and intelligence professionals. There are 3,000 employees, and 2/3 of them live right here in our state. A final decision has not been made yet, but it will be made by June.
And I think that the fact that 2/3 of their employees live right here may be one of the deciding factors, like weigh very heavily.
Bringing economic development like that to St. Louis, especially that part of North St. Louis, is so essential.
Exciting.
Exciting.
And when you have jobs, you have lots of positive things going on in your community.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I love about good neighborhoods and niches around St. Louis is the food. Yep.
Exactly. So you'll have lots of people to go to these new restaurants, including Bailey's Chocolate Bar.
Oh, we love that one.
Exactly. Bridge Tap House and Wine Bar, Bailey's Range, and Rooster, who happens to have the best crepes. And it's no wonder that restaurateur Dave Bailey's come out with a new addition that's open, guess what?
Today.
Exactly. He describes his latest venture, Shift, as a takeout-only test kitchen where they'll be mashing up American regional barbecue styles with smoke-centric traditions from around the world. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so there's going to be a rotating selection of menu items in a carry-out format that'll serve as a trial run for potential items to bring to their other restaurants. So Shift is located in a former bakery space right behind Rooster and will be open for takeout Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bailey started his successful line of businesses and restaurants here in St. Louis in 2004 and now employs more than 300 people, serving more than 500,000 customers.
And that's what I'm talking about. The more people that have jobs, the more the area flourishes. And then with all that new growth and development, you'll have tons of people to go to the restaurants.
Yes. Just eat our way through St. Louis.
Eat our way, eat our way. You're making me hungry. And this next story, it's gonna make you hungrier.
Just gonna add to it. Yep.
There's more great restaurant news here in the city of St. Louis. The Have you ever heard of Raisin Cake?
I have.
Oh my God, they have the best
My
chicken
kids
fingers.
love them.
Exactly. And this Louisiana-based chain recently celebrated a grand opening of their 7th area location, and it's the first in the city. Founded by Todd Graves in 1996 and named for his yellow Labrador, the popular fast food restaurant chain offers chicken fingers as its only main course, and they are so good.
Yeah, it's a signature recipe, and then they've got that signature recipe for their sauce.
Yes.
So they're also known, though, for their super friendly staff and delicious lemonade, which I've never had.
What's wrong with
I
you?
know. Imagine I'll be going around the corner and having some lemonade because their total revenue in 2007 was $97.3 million, and this new location is located at 4320 Hampton Avenue in the Southampton area. And the hours of operation are Sunday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to midnight.
I am so hungry talking
I
about all this food. Come on,
Ready
let's
to
go.
cut out. Yes.
I am
Go
starving.
eat. Yes, yeah.
And this next story, you'll love it.
I will.
Because it's helping our community
It
once
is.
again. A strong advocate for the homeless in St. Louis is hoping to help them make a clean break of it with an idea called Shower to the People. Pastor Jake Austin is the director for Focus Gateway City, the local branch of Focus North America, an Orthodox Christian group providing homeless services.
So while distributing soap and hygiene supplies to the homeless in downtown St. Louis, he realized that many have nowhere to bathe, so they can find work. So what did he do? Austin came up with a nonprofit endeavor of buying an old box truck on Craigslist and converting it into a portable showering unit with 2 shower stalls and 2 sinks inside.
What a novel idea.
Look at it, it's great.
Exactly. And Shower to the People truck is rolling out on test stops within a couple of weeks. Its grand debut will be June 4th in Soulard.
Perfect, making its way through St. Louis.
Absolutely. And you know, people always say, oh, you need to get a job. But I mean, people, if you don't have any place to live and you don't have any place to clean up, it makes it very difficult.
It does
Makes it very
indeed.
difficult.
I hope it's just the starting point in many of those things to come.
Exactly. I think he may have started a trend that will go across the country.
Yeah, well, you know, the scenery in St. Louis is changing a little bit as you
Yes,
drive
it
down
is.
the highway and you used to see the Edward Jones Dome there
Absolutely.
on the side.
The
Yeah,
dome.
the dome. Nope. The Edward Jones Dome is no more. That sign is coming down. The facility will now be known as the Dome at America's Center. It was built way back in 1995.
Way back.
And was actually initially called the Trans World Dome or TWA Dome under a 20-year deal with TWA, which had its logo on the roof. Then the airline terminated the deal when it went bankrupt in 2001.
Exactly. And St. Louis-based Edward Jones initially struck its naming rights deal for the stadium in 2002 and just terminated those rights for the dome, home to the St. Louis Rams, whatever, between 1995 and 2015, last February. Edward Jones is still working on a deal with the sign company to get the Edward Jones Dome signs off the building. The proposal will also have to be approved by the convention officials, but something tells me you're not going to have any opposition.
No, that's what I'm thinking. And then what's Edward Jones gonna do with those signs?
I don't know.
Maybe they'll just have a sign that says Dome somewhere.
Dome.
Yeah, there you go.
Dome.
Well, we also have a new landmark coming soon as well. Anticipation continues over the Civil Courts building downtown, getting a new sculpture to honor more than 300 slaves and lawyers who sued for freedom in the early 1800s. Sculptor Preston Jackson has been chosen to create the Freedom Suits Memorial.
Judge David C. Mason formulated the memorial while researching the Dred Scott case, the most famous of the freedom suits. Although the U.S. Supreme Court eventually overturned the verdict of a St. Louis jury granting Scott his freedom, the statement from those 12 men was an affirmation.
Jackson also commented that his winning design highlights the strength needed to challenge slavery rather than focusing on the horrors of the institution of slavery. Private funds are being sought to support this project.
I think it's awesome, and I think it's a testament for all people. And, you know, we need that. We need that in St. Louis, a symbol of togetherness and what we all represent and what we won't tolerate anymore.
Absolutely. It's a little jarring unless to learn about your history here in St. Louis and the reality of it. And the reality of that is if you don't understand history and you don't know it, then it's doomed to repeat itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But on a more positive
Absolutely.
note, the Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri recently opened Burgess Family Girl Scout Program Center, which is a 6,500 square foot space complete with a demonstration demonstration kitchen where they can cook those cookies or bake the cookies. A science area, robotics lab, a lounge space, and adult hospitality room.
Wow, it's going to be a huge space. It'll serve as a hub for activities for girls in kindergarten through 12th grade from urban, rural, and suburban areas. Now, the space was funded by a transformative investment from the Burgess Family Foundation and was designed with input from community members and volunteers, serving on the Program Center Task Force.
The Program Center is the first of its kind for the organization, which has more than 43,000 girl members and 15,000 adult members in St. Louis City and 28 surrounding counties in eastern Missouri. To join, volunteer, or donate to Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri, call 1-800-727-GIRL or visit www.girlscoutsem.org and follow them on Twitter and Facebook. Oh my gosh, were you a Girl Scout?
I was.
Did you love it?
I loved most of it. Hated the uniform.
I love the cookies.
Yeah.
And I love selling the cookies so I can get more
For
badges.
you. I'm so glad you were motivated by that.
By eating.
I wanted to do more camping and survival skills.
Oh, camping was fun too. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Girl, see, that lasting memories.
And it reminds me of summer camp when you start singing that, doesn't it?
Yes. And speaking of summer, it's right around the corner, and the city of St. Louis and Playtime Recreation have open registration for free themed summer camps for city youth ages 5 through 18. The 77 camps are funded by Proposition P, a 1/8 sales tax.
Oh, and some of the theme categories include art, offered through a partnership with Yo Arts Collective, basketball through a partnership with the Demetrius Johnson Charitable Foundation, creative development through a partnership with the Urban Artists Alliance for Child Development, and enrichment through partnership with Sylvan Learning. And what summer camp wouldn't be complete without
swimming?
Yep, absolutely. And that's offered in partnership with the Gateway City Aquatic Club.
How fun is that? I love camp.
Yeah, I can see you going back to camp.
Exactly, and I just might do that. Registration for the camp is offered at parks and partner locations throughout the city, but due to space limitations, parents, camps will close when they reach capacity. So make sure you register your children by visiting www.stlouis-mo.gov/playtime or by calling 314-289-5367. And again, ooh, I wonder what would happen if I tried to sign myself up for camp.
This is not the 90s anymore. They have all kinds of things about adults with children. You have to go through a background check.
You are right. You are absolutely right.
Luckily, our guest didn't have to go through a background check to hang out with us.
Although she looks like she might have because she's so young.
She is awesome. So this is Nikki Smith, editor-in-chief of Deluxe Magazine. Thanks for joining us, Nikki.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to be
Oh,
here.
just so cute.
She's
Yeah, cute. I love it.
Like, they call me Babyface.
Okay.
I look younger than I am.
There's a song about
Exactly.
that.
And that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Babyface editor-in-chief. Here she is in the flesh.
Here I am.
Absolutely.
So for our viewers out there who aren't familiar with Deluxe Magazine, tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so Deluxe Magazine is a premier publication here in St. Louis. We print about 15,000 copies. We print bi-monthly, so we come out every other month. So this month is the March and April one. Our audience, we are targeting upper echelon millennials here in St. Louis. So those young professionals, those ones who are engaged with our content. We have a huge social media following, over
Yes, you do.
150,000 fans on Facebook and Twitter. So we are definitely booming and growing and continue to grow our audience.
Exactly. And you cover fashion, you cover
Fashion, music.
nightlife, music, everything.
Food.
Yeah,
Food.
Yes.
We have our food, and we definitely do cover social justice issues as well. So definitely making sure that we're focusing on issues that matter in our community.
So talk about an article or in the March-April issue that you're especially proud of.
So one article that we're especially proud of, this edition we focused on our education in St. Louis, and so kind of highlighting some charter schools, some great magnet schools, even some great young education schools here in St. Louis. And so that's really a focus we have on our cover, the president of Harrisville State University.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's very young.
Yeah,
Yep.
very young. So that's another draw into our audience
Young
to show that
and
they
innovative.
can be innovative and educated and still be cool.
Absolutely. And speaking of young and innovative, you've got a program coming up
Yep,
soon.
we do. This Thursday, April the 7th, we have a program coming up called our Emerging 30. And so this event, we will be highlighting young and emerging leaders here. They are entrepreneurs, they are thought leaders, they are civic and community leaders here in St. Louis, and they are all under 30 years old. So we'll be honoring them this Thursday at the Rustic Goat at 6 o'clock. Make sure you be there.
Love the food at the Rustic Goat.
Oh, it's
now this is
amazing.
another
Yeah,
great reason.
Now we're back
to
on
It's amazing.
food.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, what was some of the criterion? I know you all had an event back in November where you honored over 100 people. And I think
Right.
it was under 40.
It was ages 25 to 45. So our Power 100
Oh, so I
event.
can still get in there.
Yeah.
Maybe next year you
The
can
name's
get
Gina
it.
Cheatham. There we go.
So our
No,
Power 100.
we come as a team. We come as a team.
Both of you? Okay, I got you. So our Power 100 event, we did recognize 100 individuals here in St. Louis across different categories, so fashion and music and civic leadership. But this one, I don't think that there was a particular category or criteria
Yeah.
we were looking for. Just innovative thought leaders here in our community, so they could be a wide range of things. Fashion moguls. We have one kid. He's an innovator, and so he built this device, and he's only like 20-something years old, and so it's amazing the things that these people have done in their short lifespan.
And many of these people are people that you wouldn't necessarily know about who are flying under the radar.
Exactly. So we definitely wanted to highlight some people who don't always get the spotlight. So.
Awesome.
And that's what I love. And you know what? In the spirit of Aunt Ida, she would love that too.
That's a
because
great point.
you've got to recognize, everybody's not the big boss.
Right.
Not the big boss.
Okay, so this is the first ever 30 under 30.
Yep, Emerging 30 under 30.
Emerging 30 under 30
Yep.
with the Luxe Magazine this Thursday, people, 6 to 8:30 at the Rustic Goat on Washington Avenue. And you need people to RSVP or anything like that.
So we had sold out. So that was great, but we opened up some more tickets.
Okay.
So we had about 25 more tickets available if you go to deluxemag.com/emerging30.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today.
And you can always check us out here at the Daily Mix online, Facebook, email us, Twitter us. You got it. YouTube it.
Absolutely. And
Thanks for joining us.
once again.
We'll see you next time.
All right.